we have what I call this thing of ours, because it's special, because the Mandela effect. And just today on Twitter, someone had mentioned that about Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. It's a perfect example. I know it's a pop culture reference, but nonetheless, it's a good example. And they had mentioned that we were confusing it because of Shrek. Well, those of us from an older generation, you have a deeper understanding of Mirror, Mirror on the Wall, maybe years or even decades before the movie Shrek ever came out. So Shrek, if you're, let's say you're in your late 30s or your 40s, you can understand that there was a time that the movie Shrek didn't exist, and yet we all still thought that it was Mirror, Mirror on the Wall in Snow White, and it wasn't. It's Magic Mirror. And now we have a tweet today or someone that's friendly to the channel, and this is how it works here, sends out a tweet that shows us. She went to Disneyland and sent it out, and sure enough, inside of one of the rides, it says Magic Mirror on the Wall, and that's not the line. And it's not... And then after that, I tweeted it out for a little while, but then ultimately I removed it. It said that we're misremembering because of Shrek, and that certainly isn't the case. Because for those of us that remember a time before the movie Shrek, we understood for the longest time that it was Mirror, Mirror on the Wall, and now it's Magic Mirror. So what you have is a snapshot in time, or a generational snapshot in time, of your understanding of this reality. And it was always Mirror, Mirror. And there's no other reference we need like Shrek or anything else. So I thought I'd throw in the documents here to all the newcomers and say welcome. You're very welcome here. We're very happy that you're here. So we have this thing where we're passing back and forth this information we're fortunate enough that we can capture it now with the technology that we have with the internet and also with YouTube. So that's one advancement that we have over this mystery school. But the second most important component that you need to have for a mystery school is for this kind of new understanding and reorientation of reality, for it to benefit you in some way. And I think in a lot of ways that's still yet to come. And I'm not entirely sure what form that's going to come in, but I feel as if it's out there in some way, in some fashion. And I think we're all going to be a part of it when it shows itself. It's we're sharing ideas. It's like this economy of ideas that we're all sharing with one another. And it may be something just as every day as the sun now is white. It's not yellow anymore. And that may be something that's exactly perfect for a mystery school. That people who only maybe 60 years or 50 years from now, they'll have to go back and listen to something like this. And this is part of that, where we hand down something to the next generation and say, there was once a yellow sun. It wasn't always white. And it wasn't always just really awful. And it's just, it's too strong. It hurts your eyes. And there was a yellow sun. Also, too, just like now we have the white rainbow. You know, we have a completion, I feel, of a cycle. And I'm not entirely sure what that cycle's all about, but I've never pretended to have all of the answers. And that's something else, too, that I wanted to address, is that coming here, I'm not going to have all the answers. That's what is another thing that I think that makes all of us very unique. That's something that we can hand down to people, you know, just by talking to one another and things that we're observing. Like the Arctic being on fire. Did you guys hear about that? Yeah, the Arctic is on fire right now. It's so strange, right? That's so odd. I read that in my Twitter feed this morning, and it was just, as soon as I woke up, I looked at it and I was like, the Arctic is on fire. How can the Arctic be on fire? That doesn't even make sense. And they were talking about the Arctic having some, in the Siberian Arctic, it has this peat, like this peat moss, and somehow it can catch fire now. So it's just these odd things you'll notice about the Earth. Arctic fires. Let's see. Arctic fires. Go to Google. Top stories. So much of the Arctic is on fire, you can see it from space. Now, in the old reality that I was in, the Arctic was really cold. And I know it's in summertime, and unless it's tundra, everything thaws. But having Arctic wildfires, to me, if it's not a Mandela effect, it's certainly, you add it to everything else, it's certainly a strange log to add to that fire. Huge Arctic fires have now emitted a record-breaking amount of CO2. I promised that I would give him Kyle Crawford. I want to give him a big shout out and a big thanks because he gave me a kind of a quiz, right? And he goes, "Can you name?" He goes, "How many oceans are there?" And I said, "Well, there's the Pacific, the Atlantic, the Arctic, and the Indian." And sure enough, he let me know that now there's also the Southern Ocean. So there you go. You have a brand new ocean. Now, you couple that with Arctic fires, we have a new ocean. The moon is still in Earth's atmosphere. Need not worry, I checked. It is still in Earth's atmosphere. It still shrinks and grows. The moon has water on it. There is an Andy Warhol on the moon. There is a moon museum. There is a memorial on the moon, not just for cosmonauts, but astronauts as well. So if we ever finally get to the moon, we will have attractions when we get there. And certainly those attractions will be, in part, high-end art. Can we get some thumbs up? Appreciate it. Oh, and the oceans under the oceans. Those are my favorite. The oceans under the oceans, yeah. And they say that they're so dense with salt. Now, certainly, it can be said that because we have this new technology of the internet, we're able to share information that wasn't, readily available to everybody before. But there comes a point where even the articles that we have here and the plethora, it's actually a library, and that's what adds to this channel as being a mystery school. At this point, we have a library of articles and history here. You can go and just not listen to the videos and just go through the descriptions and go through the links. They're stunning what's out there. And the admissions that no one pays attention to, that science itself has had to admit to, and to show that, things are not what they seem.